you're good. You don't need to be an expert. Certainly don't let the fact that you're not an expert stop you from getting started, because I think that a lot of people just kind of use that excuse. So it's going to be a market that's balanced. It's going to be something that you're may or may not be an expert at. You may or may not even be interested in it. But I will give you this piece of advice. Make sure that it's something that you're not opposed to. If you're a preacher, I mean, just for a funny example, if you're a preacher, you're not going to go into adult entertainment because you're just going to have a moral objection and it's just never going to sit right. So, I mean, don't do the fast, easy, bad money thing. I use payday loans as an example because they're financial suicide. Anybody who gets a payday loan is pretty much done. And these are the people that need help the most. It's real bad. I have a very large mailing list, 3.5 million people, and I refuse to run payday loans on it because there's just no value to the end user. So make sure it's something that you're cool with. So you're doing your regular keyword research. You're going to want to find out how large the market is, how many clicks. You want to find out how much money is in the market. And I'm just going to kind of leave that alone, and we're going to cover more in the keyword research. But here's some of the extra stuff. Here's part of the secret sauce to finding your market that you're going to deal with. And that is 90% of all the words and the content on the internet stops there. Because people have this point and click mentality. And if they do the keyword research with the automated tools, they figure they've done their job and they put a site up and they've got an early edge because they're doing something. And I'm going to do, trust me, I'm going to do a whole video on, getting off your butt and doing anything, putting you way ahead when it comes to, being competitive in business. So they're out there only using the automated tools. Now here's some of the things that you can do to put yourself ahead of those folks. One is just walk around, just go out there. If you're in whatever market you are, you can gravitate towards where that is. If you're writing about, better home plans, plans for building homes, you can, look at houses, you can go on drives, you can see what looks good. You can go to the bookstore, and we're going to talk about the bookstore in just a second. So you can, if you're writing about, school sports, go to schools, watch the sports. Just put yourself out there and just get into it. Just see what there is from the ground level. That's one thing. And when you do it on purpose, you have an edge. Let's talk about bookstores. So you go into a bookstore. Here's a little secret that merchandisers have known for years that I'm now going to tell you, is there's people with college degrees whose job at the bookstore company is to engineer how you buy the right books. Now the right books are the best sellers. They're the ones with the widest margins for the distributors and in turn the book companies. The books that make the most money for the company are going to be at eye level. So if you're of average height, let's call it, 5'8", 5'9", men and women, different heights. So 5'8", 5'9", there's that shelf. And that shelf is where the books are that are the best sellers. And you want to know that when you're looking at the books, because the best sellers are worth paying more attention to, than the worst sellers. So we'll just walk through the bookstore and, find the books on the topics that you're interested in. You might want to buy the books. You might want to see what the other authors are up to. And then you want to go to the magazine section. Now the magazines can teach you a lot. When you look at the magazines, especially on the topic that you're interested in, first, see how many magazines there are. I mean, I was shocked not long ago. We were doing a website, neverendingromance.com, about different topics around wedding etiquette, how to, get the best deals with weddings. And I was looking at the magazine rack, and as a guy, I look at the car magazines. But when I finally looked at the wedding magazines, there was maybe 15 of them. So just noticing how many there are, that's a good start. And then, here's the magic. Because remember, there's people smarter than us whose singular job is to do certain things. So if you're paying attention, you can get the benefit of those things, and those are the copywriters. The people who write the front cover copy for magazines are some of the best copywriters on earth, because those magazines live and die by what happens at the newsstand. And by the way, here's a little secret. I have subscriptions to magazines, some of the big ones, Entrepreneur, I'm interested in kit cars, so I get a few Flying magazine, so I get a few of them. And you know, the covers and the cover stories are totally different most times than the newsstand editions of those same magazines, because they're dealing with a different customer. When they're talking to a subscriber, I mean, statistically, I'm a fan of the magazine, I've already bought it, so they're telling me stuff on the cover that reinforces that fact. Now, a magazine typically has to, you know, make a new convert every time on the book stand, on the magazine rack, so they're writing copy. So back to the wedding example, when you're looking at the magazines, you can find out what is all the researchers and all the copywriters and all the big, you know, focus groups figured out what's important that people want to hear about. And in the example, when I went to the bookstore, it was wedding dresses. So I learned that because half of the front pages were talking about or putting photographs of wedding dresses. So you just get into it and find out what the magazines are saying, particularly on the front cover. Okay? Now we're going to go over one more. And there's more ways to research a market. And, you know, frankly, I want to get this video out. I think we're, you know, coming up on the 5-6 minute mark. I don't want to go over, have YouTube get mad at me. So I want to talk about one more that not a lot of people know, and that is Amazon. Amazon, if you want to make a customer-centric book that you know is going to appeal to people, here's a trick. Amazon's one of the biggest bookstores on earth, and they have customer reviews. So when you're researching your topic, you type the topic in to Amazon's search engine. They tell you all the books. And what you do is you look at those books, and first you make yourself a list and write down what the Amazon sales rank is. So that way, if you're writing a book, for example, on oiling your lawnmower, we'll just make something up, then you might find 10 books. And you can rank those books by which one is the highest sales rank. You know, actually, it's the lowest rank means it's closer to the top. And that way, the book that's selling the best, because everything works together as a system when you're marketing, and books themselves are no different. So the guy who's, you know, number 1,000 on Amazon is doing his whole business better. He's serving we hope, he's serving the customers better than the guy who's 10,000 on Amazon. So you want to rank order your list, and then here's the magic. You look at the star ratings. So you look at the people who gave the book a 5-star, let's say, and then you look at what they said. I like this book because it had a lot of pictures and it told me how to use the right oil for my lawnmower. Okay, so I'm just making all this up. And then you look at the 1-star ratings or the 2-star ratings, and they'll say stuff like, well, I didn't like this book too much because he didn't pay any attention to the content. He just made a bunch of, you know, funny pictures. Now, always give a little more credence to the people who said nice things, but listen to the people who said bad things. And when you put all that research together, you're looking at the 5-star reviews and maybe the 4s, and you're looking at the 1s and the 2s, you're making a list of what to do and, importantly, what not to do when you write your book. So you can come into the market and use that statistical data to write yourself a book that the market's going to embrace. So again, this is Tom Bell, Systematic Traffic, and that's my video for you.